Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer Lee, aka GenXJen. I'm coming at you from a different location today. I am outside the theater where I just watched the re-release of Rogue One. Theaters were doing this because we got the upcoming Andor series, and I was told the news. I heard the news that there was going to be a sneak peek of Andor, some footage from Andor, attached to this showing, and I was waiting for it after the credits, but it didn't come. So apparently, I was misinformed. I don't know if the news was wrong or it just wasn't happening everywhere. Maybe this theater didn't get that footage. I don't know, but I'm disappointed. But I'm just gonna have to get over it. But I'm still glad that I came. I had my doubts about whether this was going to be worth it. To make the effort to come here and spend the money. Because I can watch Rogue One anytime I want at home for free. In my robe and underwear, I don't have to put on pants. I can pause and take a break whenever I want to. But I am glad I came. Because there's just nothing like a theater experience, and it was the IMAX version, which made it even better. And there's an annoying car horn in the background. I hope that stops very soon, or car alarm. And it's really distracting. I'm gonna stop this for a second. Okay, someone finally shut off that damn car alarm. My goodness. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm glad I came to this. It occurred to me today that this is the first chance I've had to experience for a second time to relive the experience of seeing one of my favorite Star Wars movies in the theater. Because I saw when the original trilogy was re-released in '97. I did go see A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back in the theaters that year. I was unable to go see Return of the Jedi because I was really busy with a school play. I was disappointed about that, but I'm pretty sure I did see Return of the Jedi. Okay, I need to slow down. I'm pretty sure I did see Return of the Jedi in the theaters when I was a little kid, but I just have very vague memories of it. So if I had seen it that year, which I really wish I had, it would have been like the first time seeing it in the theater. But like I was saying, this is the first time I've been able to see one of my favorite Star Wars movies, relive one of my favorite Star Wars movies in the theater, years later. And it was amazing. Rogue One is definitely, it's in my top 3. It's like a tie between Rogue One, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. I just can't pick a #1 among those. They're all great. And A New Hope comes in just a very close second. And one of the reasons why I love Rogue One is because it's so very much like A New Hope. Like the very first Star Wars movie, I'm sure that was their goal, because it leads right into A New Hope, and they made it so much like that movie. It's from the same little micro era of Star Wars. I might have just invented a word, micro era. Yeah, it's the story is amazing. It's also very sad. It doesn't elicit as many tears as it did the first time I watched it, but it's still so sad to see K2 go, and then Chirrut, and then Bodhi, then Baze, and then finally Jyn and Cassian at the end. Yeah, but there's a mixture of sadness and happiness, because it's the first time I saw this in theaters, I wasn't sure if Princess Leia was going to be in it at all. And I was so very happy to see her appear at the end. And every time I've watched this movie since then, I've seen it many times. I don't know how many times, too many to count. But every time at the end, when those doors slide open and I see the familiar white robe, and Captain Antilles asked her, what is it they've sent us? And she replies, which is her one single line, one single word in this movie, hope.
Hope.
That brings the tears every time. Without fail, every single time I watch this movie, I can't help but cry at the very end. Because, you know, because it's so telling of how Leia clings to that hope that rebellions are built on.
Rebellion's built on hope.
It brings you know, a mixture of happy and sad tears because of the happiness that the rebels achieved their objective and they got what they needed to destroy the Death Star. Is that this leads to their first major victory against the Empire, and also sadness because of the losses they had to endure, the sacrifices that had to be made, the lives that had to be sacrificed. It's more than just the protagonist in this movie. A lot of other rebels perished, including Red 5. I've always been glad that they made it a point to put that in there, that we see Red 5 perish in battle because, you know, because that spot had to open up because Luke was Red 5 in A New Hope. So I'm so glad they put in that little detail. But like I was saying, you know, that one little scene at the end with Leia, it's bittersweet, because you know, because it's very hopeful. It's a very hopeful time for the rebellion, but also very sad, very difficult time, and it's also a difficult time for Leia personally, because we know what's coming. There's the imminent destruction of Alderaan. It's coming very soon, and that's also part of why I cry at the very end. And I also love another detail that's included as Bail telling Mon Mothma that he's going to send Leia to retrieve Obi-Wan.
Your friend, the Jedi.
He doesn't mention either of them by name, but we know he's talking about Obi-Wan because, you know, he said he served me well in the Clone Wars, and you know, and Mon Mothma says, you know, whoever you send is going to have to be someone you can trust, and Bail says, I will trust her with my life. You know, it's obvious he's talking about Leia, you know, partly because we know that Leia is the one sent to contact Obi-Wan. We know that from A New Hope, of course. But I very much appreciate that they included that detail too. Yeah, and this movie has the resurrection of Grand Moff Tarkin, and also Red Leader and Gold Leader in the Battle of Scarif. I mean, I'm so happy that they did that. And Vader is at his most vicious best in this movie. There's no topping that hallway scene when he decimates those rebels. And we got to the Imperials choking on their aspirations, especially Krennic. Vader called him out on it.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
I especially enjoy Krennic on Scarif with his expression when he sees the explosions go off, and he has this expression on his face that says, "Oh shit, these rebels are following me everywhere." And then his final expression that says, "Oh shit, I'm about to be destroyed by my own creation."
Fire when ready.
And another thing I really appreciate about the ending of Rogue One is, you know, Vader is slaughtering those rebels, and and one of the last ones standing has to just pass the Death Star plans to someone else because he can't get through that door. You know, the ship is disabled, the door won't open. And so, you know, and the guy who grabs the plans, he was very lucky to, you know, that like the other rebels right in front of him are slaughtered by Vader, and he gets away just in time. And him and the other rebels, they have no time to mourn the ones who have just fallen, because they've got to go. They've got their mission objective, and they've got to get out of there. So, you know, one of my favorite parts is when that guy yells "launch," and the Tantive 4 takes off from inside the profundity. And, you know, I recognized that ship immediately the first time I saw this movie, and I was like, yes, this is leading right into A New Hope. And and then I saw the familiar interior of the ship, the familiar Alderaanian rebels, and Captain Antilles. And I was like, am I going to see Leia? Am I going to see Leia? And then there she was. Yes, that is another reason why I love this movie so much. You know, and Rogue One is one of the so-called standalone movies, along with Solo. But it's really not a standalone movie. You know, it fits neatly into the saga. It leads right into A New Hope. After all the main protagonists perish, their story's in, but the story, the overall story still continues. So, you know, it's about even though it's very heartbreaking to see all the protagonists die. You know, even though it's the first time meeting these characters, we do get to know them quite a bit. Not as much as other characters in the saga, but still enough to care about them, and you know, enough to really hit you in the heart when they all have to sacrifice their lives. But it's for a greater purpose, and the story continues because of their sacrifice. So that's another reason why this is not only one of my favorite movies of the Star Wars saga, but one of my favorites overall. It leads right into A New Hope. It has a lot of the elements of that movie. We see the Masasi temples at the rebel base on Yavin 4. We see the X-wings. You know, all the familiar elements of the Rebel Alliance, plus more. We see more of it.
Hey, you just watch yourself.
That's what makes Rogue One even better, in my opinion, than A New Hope. You know, the Battle of Scarif is, you know, has a lot of similarities to the Battle of Yavin, but the Battle of Scarif is like, I think it's like 10 times better. You know, it's led by the a very skilled admiral. You know, just every bit as good as Admiral Akbar. He's a tactical genius, and his strategy to call in a Hammerhead corvette to push one disabled Star Destroyer into another Star Destroyer to break through the shield gate, that is genius. You know, and I love the characters of Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor and Chirrut and Baze and Bodhi. They're all amazing. Saw Gerrera is amazing. And Galen. So many good characters that we were introduced to in this movie. I could go on and on about Rogue One, but I want to move on to my thoughts about the Andor series. You know, like I said, I'm disappointed that this showing did not include footage like I thought. But you know, it's coming in less than a month. I'm very much looking forward to it. You know, the team behind Tony Gilroy and the whole team behind Rogue One and now the Andor series, they are they, along with the Favreau and Filoni team, are the best storytellers of the current Star Wars era. They are exceptionally good at telling good stories. So I have I know that the Andor series is going to be amazing, and it's unlike some of Star Wars that's meant for both adults and children. This series is going to be, from what I've heard, it's not going to be very kid friendly. It's going to be really dark and gritty. You know, it's about the growing rebellion, and about how, you know, rebellions and war are ugly. You know, it's not a fairy tale.
War isn't hell. War is war and hell is hell. And of the two, war is a lot worse.
A lot of hard decisions have to be made. Sometimes the wrong decisions are made. Sometimes, you know, they have to make decisions based on what they know at the time.
A decision needed to be made.
They do what they employ the best strategies that they have at the time, and you know, sometimes it turns out not to be the best thing, the best idea, or you know, losses have to be endured for the greater good. You know, like Cassian, it says in Rogue One, you know, he has regrets about some of the things he's done for the rebellion, but they were things he thought he had to do at the time, like killing that other spy at the beginning of the movie. You know, what choice did he have? He wasn't that guy was not going to get out. You know, it was just he was just too much of a liability at this point, and I could. You can see from the expression on Cassian's face after he shoots that guy, he's like, what did I just have to do? You know, he didn't enjoy it at all.
We've all done terrible things on behalf of the rebellion.
Part of the darkness and grittiness of war. You know, I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. You know, it's stories like that are hard to watch sometimes. You know, if you've maybe it's too dark and gritty for some people to handle, but I like the realism of it. You know, because it's, you know, a lot of people have to face stuff like that in the real world. So why wouldn't people in the Star Wars, in the galaxy far, far away, have to endure that? You know, like I said, it's not a fairy tale, and it just you know, it makes the efforts the rebels make and the sacrifices they make more profound. You know, because they're willing to put their lives on the line. They're willing to endure loss and hardship and heartbreak for a cause that's greater than all of them collectively. And that's what the Andor series is going to be about. There's going to be for the rebels. There's going to be some morally gray areas. You know, it's not only about Cassian Andor, but it's going to show how he goes from being a thief to being a rebel intelligence officer, and there have been times that he and his fellow rebels have to do some sketchy things in order to accomplish their missions, and they have to live with that.
I couldn't face myself if I gave up now. None of us could.
In there, I've also heard that this show is going to, the Imperials in the show are going to be more fleshed out, complex characters. They're not going to be one-dimensional villains. I've heard that it's actually we're actually going to see at least one Imperial, you know, with his or her family, showing their personal life, showing them as more human, but you know, that they're still going to be on the side of evil. But I appreciate that they are going to make them more complex. A lot of people have been questioning why an Andor series has been made at all, because we know that what happens to Cassian. We know his story ends in Rogue One. So some people are saying, you know, why should we care if we know that he just dies in Rogue One? Well, that thinking just doesn't make any sense to me, because you know, so yeah, he dies, yeah, but that doesn't mean that there aren't good stories to tell from before. You know, Obi-Wan, Vader, and Yoda all die in the original trilogy, but did that mean that there weren't good stories to tell from before their deaths? I don't understand that thinking at all. But like I said, you know, this show is going to be about a lot more than Cassian. It's also going to be about Mon Mothma during her time as an Imperial senator. She is secretly building the Rebel Alliance as an Imperial senator, and how she pulls it off. I've been wanting to know more of that story for a long time. Not nearly enough of that story has been told, at least not in canon. You know, a lot of her story was told in Legends. But yeah, I'm really glad that now there's going to be a lot more of it in canon. And one of my favorites Rebels episodes is the one in which Mon Mothma speaks out against one of the Empire's atrocities, and the Empire declares her a traitor, and the Ghost Crew has to ferry her into hiding, where she can continue to build the Rebel Alliance in exile. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that type of storyline about Mon Mothma and the people surrounding her. She's an amazing character. Definitely one of my favorites peripheral characters in all of Star Wars. But you know, I've talked long enough. You know, I've got jumbled thoughts in my head about Rogue One and Andor. Like I said, I'm really glad I came out to see this movie in the theater again. You know, especially since it was the IMAX version. There's nothing like that. And hopefully, maybe in the future, I'll get to relive some more Star Wars theater experiences. I don't know, but I'm going to wrap this up. You know, there might have been some things I wanted to mention that I forgot, but you know, I would love to discuss these topics with all of you in the comments. So leave me some comments, and I will respond. So thank you all for watching this. This is different from what I usually do, but I really wanted to record my thoughts and share them with you all. Be sure to give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this type of content and you want to see more from me. I would really appreciate it if you subscribed, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you know, maybe some of you have gone to see, you know, this re-release of Rogue One. If you haven't, do it. It's well worth your time and money. So I hope you all have a good day wherever you are, and bye for now.